think this is dope, man. You could tell that it's a pandemic and the clubs are closed because they was like, man, we gotta just. It's funny to me that during these times, these are the nominations. It says a lot about, people that have made music or people that have not made music during, the times that are going on. And I don't know if I've ever seen a rap category, the Grammys like this. We all old enough to remember.
This was like the Source Award nomination in '95.
Yeah, like this is. I don't know if I could compare. I'd have to look at the list and kind of, go back over the years. But this is different. I don't know if
maybe they're finally starting to get it right.
I was going to ask if you guys thought that. What do you think that's it, Lone, or is this just a aberration based off everything that's been going on with the world and things of that nature? Maybe it's an aberration, or you think it might start a trend?
Nah, I don't think that's what it is either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's dope. I was definitely surprised. I was absolutely surprised to see D Smoke's name on there.
Yep.
I was surprised to see Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist on there.
Me too.
Definitely.
I was not surprised to see Nas on there. I was not surprised to see Jay Electronica on there.
Yep.
But I was surprised to see Royce on there as well. Now, the interesting thing, I think out of all the projects, I think probably Written Testimony would be the one that I would probably swap out with something else.
Agreed.
I would have liked to see him Run the Jewels in that spot as opposed to a Written Testimony.
Yeah. Or even like maybe like a Benny or a Conway album or West Side Gun or something. I mean, that would have been kind of cool.
Or honestly, I thought, when I look at how if you look at the rest of the hip hop Grammy nominations, I thought they were going to put Roddy Ricch's album in there. I thought they were going to put
I fool with Roddy Ricch
album in there. I was very surprised at the lineup, considering it doesn't look, because honestly, there's usually a thing where the hip hop album of the year and hip hop song or single of the year, however they word it, there's some sort of consistency between those two categories, and there isn't. That's where you see the Roddy Ricch and the more pop rap, if you will, the more club oriented rap. So this is a real departure. I mean, even with the Written Testimony, look, the song starts off with a Farrakhan speech. I was not expecting this to get any sort of industry recognition when it comes to the Grammys.
Agreed.
So I mean, it was very. I don't. Once again, I've read a little bit about it. I'm not sure about exactly how the nomination process goes. I know your record company has to submit your particular piece of art. But I mean, I'm glad they got this right. I mean, I look at the rest of the categories; they got so much of it wrong. I mean, how are you going to give like three of the? They got 𝗀𝗄 in as best new artist. I'm like, how you gonna have 𝗀𝗄 been rocking for a minute?
I was about to say, like, he's not new.
Meg Thee Stallion too.
They got Meg Thee Stallion in best new artist. I'm like, wait, didn't her first album come out in 2017? Same thing for
they're considering these albums mixtapes. They're saying that technically her album just came out last week, is what they're trying to say.
Well, then how is she getting nominated? Then how is she getting nominated? Because the thing is, this is the thing. People need to stop calling their projects mixtapes because they're like, oh, it only has 9 songs on it. You know what else only had 9 songs on it? Thriller. Okay, so you need to stop with that. If you had to clear samples and you paid for features, it's an album. Like, just because you don't think it's an album, like if you sold it to people, it's an album. If it's on iTunes, it's an album.
That's so murky now. Like,
away with same thing with Doja Cat. Doja Cat talking about she's best new artist. I was like, your first debut album came out in 2018. These are the 2021 Grammy nominations. You are not a new artist. Just because white folks just found out about you doesn't make you a new artist.
It doesn't make you a new artist at all. Like,
but at the current standards, she fits right in though.
I like this Doja Cat gal.
Showing feet in chat rooms.
Well, that's dope.
Racial chat rooms.
So it's dope. I didn't see. Only thing that I paid attention to was the rap album category. I didn't look at any other shit because I mean, we've talked about the Grammys 4 times now on the show, maybe 5. I don't know, but
Yeah, yeah.
I guess it would be 4. Well, I don't know. Hold on. We're going into our 4th year, right? So,
yeah. Yep.
I still kind of have the same feeling about them. They're just the Grammys, but it was cool to see that stuff, to see them kind of together. It's actually pretty cool to see 𝐀𝐁𝐎𝐷𝗀𝗏's name mentioned. That actually shocked me when you said that.
𝐀𝐁𝐎𝗷𝗏 is dope. Like
he put out his last album that he put out. Let's talk about 99.9%. That came out like 4 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an amazing album. Now Bubba is amazing as well, but
but it's not 99.9.
So,
but
Terry,
it is
came out 4
interesting.
years ago, which means you're not a new artist.
Right. What do you think about it?
But it's interesting that they didn't include, like Jay Moore brought up, the Roddy Ricch and the Baby and Lil Baby in this conversation, based off sales and popularity alone and radio play. Because when you're talking about the Grammys, that's generally what it's all about with them, is the more popular records, the ones that are gaining the most traction. So when you have an album like 𝗡𝗡𝗄, which amongst us is top tier, you know what I'm saying? But generally that's not seen overall. You know what I'm saying? Nas, that's given. You know Nas is gonna make a nomination.
Has he won a Grammy before?
Nas. I don't believe so.
No, this will be
Nas
has not won a Grammy.
This is why I want him to win so bad. I want him to win so bad.
I don't see how well, I mean, this might upset some people, but Jay Electronica's album being nominated is kind of just like a gimme, because he hasn't made an album and Jay-Z's on it. I mean, I think they just threw him a bone on that one.
Well, Rock Nation is a force in this industry, and that's why I think if anything could upset Nas, because I feel like Nas is going to win it just because, first of all, there's no this year there's no Jay-Z, there's no Drake, there's no random white rapper to beat him, no Kendrick, no Drake. I feel like Nas is the front runner, but at the same time, that Rock Nation push is very serious. So I think honestly, it's Nas's award to lose.
I'm cool. I'm actually cool, and I'm Spoolz, I'm coming to you. I'm actually cool on a written testimony. Like, it didn't age well to me. Like the other nominations, I like the rest of those a lot better, and I wouldn't have been mad at Run the Jewels replacing that one. Like, written testimony just didn't age. It didn't carry over to me. That's just my personal opinion.
Even the Run the Jewels album, in my personal opinion, one of the Griselda releases is better than that.
This wasn't my favorite.
Run the Jewels.
Pray for Paris is the best, is my favorite album so far this year. It's up there. It's right neck and neck with King's Disease. I love King's Disease, but I still like Pray for Paris more. But I don't think right now they're not willing to give that Griselda camp their recognition.
I don't think this was. I was gonna say, I think they did, but I don't think this is one of the better Run the Jewels albums. I think the previous 3 are better. But
I think the previous 3 are okay. Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
I mean, it's still good.
Spoolz, talk to me about these nominations, man. How'd you feel when you saw it? You got a dark horse? You got a favorite? What you think?
Oh no, bro? I just think I think it's cool, man. I'm sure at some point in one of these shows, I've said this, or one of us has been like, "Oh man, wouldn't it be cool if like Royce was nominated and Freddie Gibbs and now it's happening." It's like, oh, that's fucking dope. So. Congrats to all those guys. I'd love to see Royce or Freddie win a Grammy. That'd be incredible. But if
what do you guys think? What do you think should win?
If I think like from
out of those albums, I'd probably say 𝗡𝗡𝗄𝗏 might be my favorite out of those. To be honest with you.
Yes. What about you, Brad? What do you think?
Yeah, who you guys are favorite out of all of these?
It's tough because they're all, King's Disease is really good. I agree with you guys to an extent. I don't know if the Jay Electronica album should be on there, but Jay, you're right. Fucking Rock Nation is very powerful.
Facts.
But if I had to pick like who should win, who do I think actually made the best album? Yeah,
that's what I want. I mean, it's all
either Freddie or Nas, probably.
There we go. We agree, Spoolz. I'm with you on either Freddie or Nas. because those two are the strongest ones.
I haven't listened to all of
list.
Allegory though, and what I have listened to, I've liked. So Allegory might deserve to be up there too. You know, like as far as winning.
Black Habits is good, man. 𝗔𝗄𝗢 is I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, that's a good album.
Do you guys think something like this is like completely
album.
lost on someone like an Academics or a?
Oh yeah, they.
He's
like
probably
a no jumper.
Really upset that
yeah,
he's probably really upset that Lil Baby didn't get a nomination.
I know he knows who
Where's Trippie Redd?
Got one too.
He knows who Freddie Gibbs is.
Where's Tekashi? Where no one loves Tekashi?
Yeah.
Hell no,
really
he
just
disappeared.
Got the nomination.
He just disappeared after his album took a shit.
I think it's incredible that Freddie was nominated for a Grammy. Like that's awesome.
Yes,
did Logic not miss the deadline to be nominated? Because I'm surprised they didn't nominate Logic.
Honestly, I am too, because it seems like this would be the time for them to nominate Logic and give him a Grammy, but he was in before the deadline.
Logic album has.
I definitely know that Benny wasn't in before the deadline, because that Benny album definitely would be a nomination.
Yeah, I would think so.
I agree. Yeah, like Hit Boy could have had 2 joints in the nominations if Benny would have made the deadline.
He could have co-produced 2 albums on that list.
Man, so, but now I'm with you guys overall, like in terms of it being refreshing and being dope. Like I'm just being biased because I want to see Nas finally get a Grammy. A dude that's made such great music and been, one of the dopest MCs for the longest. Like people like him not having a Grammy, like that shit don't make sense. So I hope this is the one for him. But I would not be upset if Alfredo won. I would not.
What do you guys think about this idea of? And I know we probably talked about it before, but like, I know we're all saying like it'd be great if Nas won one, right? Yeah. But let's take that away. Okay. Do like you heard 𝗔𝗄𝗢𝗄𝗧 album? Like,
yes.
Is King's Disease really better than 𝗔𝗄𝗢𝗄𝗧 album? Take away Nas, and all the other anecdotes. You know what I mean? Like, and
if you take Nas out of the equation, or Nas being Nas, and you put the bodies of work next to each other, that's tough, man. Because Black Habits is dope. You talk about an album. I see where you're going.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is simply because I feel like all of us, even right here, we're kind of disregarding that album. We're kind of saying like it's great that it's in there because it's unexpected and it's a great album, but we're automatically moving on because there's so many other artists that we feel should have been on this list before in the past, like Royce.
There's a bias. There's a bias there. In my opinion, for me, there's a bias there. I can admit that. Yeah, I can admit that.
I mean, me too.
Right.
Me as well. Yeah, me as well.
I still feel like Alfredo is the best out of all of those.
All of them.
It's got the most. It's got the most play for me. So.
Yeah.
Like
I see your point though, Lone.
The Nas was cool. The Nas was cool to me, and I understand why he got the nomination. And a lot of people really dig that album. Like it's top 5 for some people for the year. With me, it kind of isn't top 5. You know what I'm saying? I've played it more than once, but it didn't. It's good, but it's not. It's not my favorite of the year at all.
No. Good album though.
Yeah, and I'll say that to say 𝗔𝗄𝗢𝗄𝗧 wasn't necessarily one of my favorites of the year either, and it's a good album.
Yep.
So
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I feel the same way. There are a handful of other projects that I personally liked that could fit on here, but yep.
Nah, I'm with it, man. Like I am very curious to see how they do this with everything that's going on, and I also had a list for they had best rap song. Terry, you were talking about